demonstrator, I'd like you to meet Andrew Kaufman of the Adobe Hotel.
Hey, Kai, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Paul Canturna of Canturna Real Estate.
Hey, it's a pleasure.
Good to meet you.
And Gustavo Frank of Los Pollos Hermanos.
How many times would they say I'm the smoothest? Truth is I never not moved this way. My trench coat leather, my shoes are suede. Beg you don't step on my Pumas, babe. Walked ages in these trainers, but I ain't tripped when they losing faith. You know I've been tested without a question. Why they on net doing Q&A? She say I'm a son of a gun, but really miss me like she shooting strays. It's cool, it's great, but it's more fun when you use your waist. Made in a manner like Kano, where they're able use of moving K and searching for P's on my P's and Q's. Man, step at the queue, you can lose your place. And I seen it, bro, and you see I'm the CEO, teaching my team how to aim for the head and no waist, on no lead, on no knees and toes. Briefings in the board meetings with the G's them, but they been involved. How you ain't end up on street with bro? Only Jesus knows. But still I'm here counting my blessings. I ain't account all the lessons. Found out in the drought just got man, use one hand when I'm counting my brethrens. Can you really doubt I'm a legend? All the hours round the clock that I put in. Do the eyebrow like the Rock when they looking. They can smell the shit Nux is cooking.
So my name is Mascote. Myself and my wife Joyce, we teach capoeira here at the Brazilian Cultural Center in Birmingham. So capoeira is a mixture of martial arts and movement done to music, which was developed in, during and after the transatlantic slave trade in Brazil. We've been here in this particular space since 2014. We've been in Birmingham since 2008, but this space here since 2014. So we used to work at the Dance Exchange and many other studios in Birmingham, community centers, sports centers, martial arts centers, dance centers, running lots of regular classes, but we always wanted our own space to try and give the whole image of capoeira, which is very different than most other practices because it involves live music, martial art, movement and dance all in one. And so it was very hard to do that in other space. We were very happy when we had our own space dedicated not just to capoeira but to Brazilian culture in general. I'd say one of the key principles in capoeira is a connection to the past, but also a development of modern communities and trying to get people to connect together. So capoeira is a kind of tool for people to interact with each other, to learn a new skill, to meet new people and to connect with other cultures. At the same time connecting with the past of a really important culture in Brazil, which essentially is about being in a circle and being with a group of people. So it's very much about you being with other people and trying to develop a better community. For me recently, I've done capoeira for 20 years, it's become the most important part of capoeira. I think when you first see capoeira, like when I started, you're appealed by the physicality, you like all the movements, perhaps the acrobatics or the martial side of capoeira. But actually once you learn Brazilian Portuguese and once you learn all the instruments and the history, the music is the most important because it's really where all the stories and the metaphors and the meaning from the movements come from. And there's some stuff that happens in the musical side of capoeira that happens nowhere else. For example, the berimbau is an instrument that's only played in capoeira, although there's many different variants in the African continent that you can discover, even the African diaspora. Only in capoeira do we play the berimbau, as well as other percussion instruments too. For me, it makes me feel all of my emotions. Capoeira is my life, so it's a way of me expressing myself when I'm happy, when I'm angry, when I'm frustrated. What I love about capoeira and music and movement in general, but capoeira is my passion, is it takes me from one feeling to another. So if I'm feeling bad or down or demotivated or frustrated, every time I play capoeira, musically or physically, I feel better afterwards. Well, it's very hard, especially this last year with the pandemic. It's very, it's a very big responsibility, both representing capoeira, but also helping other people to learn. We teach a lot of kids and adults, and so we have a big responsibility over them. but it's so rewarding at the same time because we work for ourselves and we see the results of our work. In every new student, every new person like yourself is interested in capoeira, so it's amazing to share, you know, something you love with other people. And everybody seems to see capoeira finds it appealing and finds it really interesting. So it's so rewarding to have that as a career, teaching other people about something that we care about. So obviously there's lots of things we teach. I think one of the most important things we teach people is how to use their bodies, because I think there's a lot of research into this nowadays that shows that anything from mental health to social health to, you know, fitness in general, you know, is about the body, but actually helps the mind too. And what I love about capoeira is teaching people they don't have to have an end result. They don't have to be fit, which means they have to run a certain distance or lift an amount of weight, or they have to be a professional dancer, or a martial artist means you have to hit the other person. In capoeira it's just self-discovery and self-empowerment of how to use your body. So that's one really important thing. And at the same time it's also how people break down their own uncomforts and, you know, limitations. Maybe they're embarrassed, maybe they need more confidence, or maybe they just don't know much about themselves or other people, and it teaches them to be a bit more sensitive socially. That's a really important part too. I think self-defense is always important. I think we're polluted by martial arts films to think self-defense is starting a fight and winning the fight. But where capoeira was from, self-defense was literally having a community that was strong enough to fight against oppression, poverty, the police that were prejudiced against them. So that's an ultimate defense, is, you know, being safe and secure in your community. And that's really important for anybody. And I think, although we don't live in an unsafe society here in the UK and generally, for example, during the COVID pandemic, it's helped a lot of people deal with an unsafe situation. So I think the best thing about capoeira is it teaches people not maybe about self-defense in the film sense, but it teaches them how to defend themselves from problems or problem solving, which is really important. When I started capoeira, I started because of Tekken, the computer game, and then I saw Only the Strong with Mark DeCastis. After a few months, I realized that most of those movements are not related to capoeira. I do love there's lots of films that have capoeira references in, amazing films. There's a good one called Besouro, but most of the films that I like the most are the really, really old black and white films that portray specific capoeira references in Brazil. But I also love Jackie Chan, Jet Li. I love every martial art film. They're all good. In fact, Kung Fu Hustle is the best Kung Fu film. It's one of the best martial art films. So obviously I speak Portuguese. Most capoeiristas, when they get to a high level, they have to learn Portuguese. I know how to do all the different musical instruments. As a part of capoeira that we even do performances of dance. I've learned lots of acrobatics through capoeira, and also I've learned all the different martial arts. So essentially that's all I have. That's the skills I've learned in capoeira, but there's a lot of them. I think capoeira's message to the people is that you can make a change, you know? You can, with other people, do whatever you want. That was the ultimate message in the beginning, that, you know, there's strength in numbers, and not to limit yourself, and not to let anybody else limit yourself either.